Hello my beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. For those that are new, my name is Nelly. Today we're going to be talking about why some women are not married. Why some women don't get married. You know, there is no amount of time you can say in a marriage that you think you know a lot about marriage, because many married people feel like from their experiences in marriage they know everything about marriage. What you know in the marriage is the marriage that you're in right now. May not apply to the next person. Every marriage is different. You could be married for over 40 years and think you've graduated. Marriage has got no graduation. Maybe you may feel like you've graduated, but the person that's staying with you may feel like they've got nowhere to go, and it's been 40 years. And you think because you've been married for 40 years, everything is okay. You know about marriage. One thing about marriage is you may have different experiences, but not fully understand it. All you're doing is tolerating each other on a daily basis. That is why you can be with a person for years and suddenly realize that you don't know this person. You don't know who they really are, because some of the things will crop up 10 years later, some 20 years later. I saw this documentary about this man who was married to this woman for 30 years. One day, there was a knock on the door, and when she opened it, there were two policemen standing in front of her door, ready to arrest the husband for faking his death. It turns out that the name that she knew, it wasn't his real name. He was using a fake identity. So that goes to show that you can live with somebody and you don't know who they are. She lived with this man for over 30 years and he wasn't the man she thought he was. You could be with somebody and you think you know them. Just like this woman. This woman married a man that doesn't exist, which means even the marriage itself, there's going to be a problem here, because you've signed a document with somebody else's identity. You may think you are married to a John Paul. That is not his real name. Now, who are you married to? Who are you married to? When a person hides their identity so well, how would you know who you're marrying? Especially when they tell you that they don't have a family. Who are you going to ask who this person really is? How are you going to know who you're marrying if they tell you they don't have a family? Many women could be married if they wanted to, but they are the ones that are not making themselves available out there because of a list that they have. Maybe this woman had a certain list as well, and this man ticked all the requirements in this list. We've all written that list, but have you asked yourself, that list could be the reason why you're not married today? That unrealistic list for the kind of man that they want. Maybe they want that God-fearing man, good-looking, worthy, or even more. Sometimes you do get to find that man, and sometimes you won't, because maybe your standards are too high. If you find somebody that is close to the qualities that you want and you feel like you like them, then you should get married to them. Of course, you feel like they are the right person. Sometimes you do find someone that is close to a list as well, but there is just something that isn't right about that person, and you end up not fully satisfied, and most times you'll even settle for less. Maybe your life revolves around church, home, work, church, home, work, repeat. What if that person that you are looking for is not in those places? You need to make an effort to go out there so that that person can find you. There is really nothing wrong with the list. There is absolutely nothing wrong. But what I'm saying is there are times where it comes to a point where you have to make some minor adjustment in that list. I'm not saying you should settle for less, but there are things in that list that you need to adjust. These things will make you end up even pushing potential men that comes your way, because you're caught up with this list. You'll never get to see a good man that comes your way just because of that list. By the time you know it, because of your pickiness, people around you will be married. So that is why I'm saying sometimes you have to make those minor adjustments. At times, you feel like the situation is getting out of hand. You're not getting married. You're not meeting anyone. Sometimes you feel like your solution is to go to church. Maybe you now realize that you're not settling down. and everyone else around you is settling down and time is not on your side. Because of desperation, a lot of women end up church hopping, looking for one prophetic word, message or another. Whenever there's a powerful man of God or a woman of God, they're there. If a prophet doesn't have a message for you, they won't pick you. When God has got no message for you, there won't be a prophetic word for you. This is when you start finding fake prophets that are going to give you a word that you want to hear. We look at in 1 Kings 18, where this prophet lied to another prophet by saying an angel delivered a message to invite this prophet into his home and offer him a meal and something to drink, even though this prophet had clear instructions from God not to eat or drink anything until he gets home. His spirit didn't even discern that this prophet was even lying to him about the angel. And he went against God, and his wages was death. And this was a true prophet that hears from God. So that goes to show that even a prophet can make a mistake. You may be given a detailed prophetic word, and you end up waiting for that person that fits those specifications that you were given, even though you meet other people in the process. But because you still have those specifications in your mind and you feel like they're not from God, and you end up pushing them away and missing out. When God gives you a prophetic word, you receive it and pray over it. Pray over that prophetic word and ask God to speak to you as well, the way He normally speaks to you. God even says you must test the Spirit. So why are you not testing the Spirit? When you know how God communicates with you, He will communicate with you the same way He normally communicates with you. Maybe you will even soon realize that that prophetic word that you were given wasn't real. Anyone can say, God says you're my wife. Some men have got that habit of saying that. If God can speak to them, He will speak to you as well. Everyone is given that spirit. So you need to test the spirit. Test every prophetic word. At times it could be that you're not married because of your character. A man is driven by what they see. Your character plays a big role to the person that you will attract. Your character can make you lose your position, just like how Queen Vashti lost her place in the palace. Maybe you may be beautiful, but that's not all, because being beautiful starts in your heart. You need to guide your heart and the things that you say, even the way you present yourself in public. Some women are not even married up to date because of their characters. They've become unbearable to the next person. Sometimes your character may be because of your experiences that you've been through. Maybe your past relationship that you've had in the past, you've been broken, you've been heartbroken all over again, and you begin not to trust the next person that comes your way. Take it out on this man who wants to get to know you, or maybe every other man that you meet. That is why in Proverbs 4 verse 23 says you need to guide your heart. Guide your heart in what you say and what you do and everything else that flow in your heart. If you cannot control your character, then it will be difficult to see a potential wife in you. In fact, that person will run as far away from you because they are looking for peace. They don't want a woman who's always nagging, who's always talking, who's always shouting and screaming and complaining, who's so self-centered, full of pride. They don't want that. This is when they start ghosting you and you wonder what just happened. Some women will even violate their position with the little things that they do. You need to make that decision to change, just even though men are visual, but respect is very important to them. Maybe you're just not teachable. You're the one that's always right. What you say goes. You're not even willing to listen to others or people around you because you feel like you're always right. A man probably won't want to settle down with somebody who doesn't want to be corrected. How do you want to stay with someone that doesn't want to be corrected? It would be difficult for you to even submit to that man because you feel like this is too much. You may not even want to submit to yourself as well by compromising on certain issues. When it comes to marriage, there are times when you need to compromise for one another. Even if you don't want to, there are times when you need to compromise. You'll notice that even that woman that doesn't go to church often, that doesn't clean or even cooks, will end up getting married. And you that does all these things, you end up not finding a partner. This is a woman that you'll ask yourself, how do they get married? They don't go to church. They don't clean. they don't cook. It doesn't mean that just because you go to church you'll find a husband. And it doesn't mean that because you don't go to church often you will not find a husband. I'm just making an example here that that woman who doesn't go to church often like as you do, who doesn't pray a lot as you do, who doesn't cook or clean, will end up getting married and you will not get married. Because the thing is, we're always judging people from the outside. You'll never know what that man saw inside. Yet everyone else is judging the outside. Some of those women are not self-centered like you. They're not prideful and they're teachable. They're willing to learn and change their ways. And you don't want to change your ways. You could miss out on a potential husband because of just little things that you don't want to change. There are so many things that can affect you from not getting married. God has got a plan for everyone. Many women end up settling for less and some end up not getting married because of the choices that they've made. And for some, the man that they've waited for through prophecy never comes to pass. Thank you for listening and see you on the next video. God bless you.